Hello, welcome to day 2 of Anatomy of an App. Thank you so much to all of you who watched yesterday's video. The feedback was fantastic. I really hope it helped some of you in reviewing concepts or creating your own first Lightning app. So yesterday we covered setting up your own developer org. We covered standard objects. We covered how to set up a Lightning app. And then we checked out how that Lightning app looked. So I hope you all came up with something really creative for your first app. Mine is for the imaginary running store Run 365. So today we're going to talk about creating custom objects, creating fields for that new custom object, and then we're going to touch on page layouts. So let's dive in. There are two ways to create custom objects. The first way is through Schema Builder. So here in your setup, you have the quick find box on the left. I'm going to type in schema and then select Schema Builder. So if you're a really visual person and you like this concept of kind of the blocks and dragging and dropping like this is perfect for you. I don't find this method super helpful, but I'm going to show it to you in case it's helpful to you. So on the left-hand side here, you can see the tab Elements. Select that, and then you'll see Object, this first element here. So all you do is drag this object over here to the grid, and then you're going to create it from there. So in my case, I drag this object over here, and I'd type in location as the name, and then down here where it says fields, you've got all the various field types, the options that you can put in that new object. So if you want to build through Schema Builder, more power to you, go for it. Since it's not helpful to me, I'm going to go back here. And there are two ways from here where you can create a custom object. Over on the right here where it says create, it's kind of a quick way to do it. You can create various things. So you could go here and create custom object. You can also go over here to Object Manager, and as the name would imply, this is a place to manage all your objects, standard and custom. Since I want to create a brand new one, I'm going to go over here to Create on the right-hand side, click the drop-down, and select Custom Object. I don't know if you saw it there, but below Custom Object is Create Custom Object from Spreadsheet. This is if you have a ton of objects. So if you've got 25 objects and you need to create all of them, it's going to be way faster to do it that way than creating them individually. Since I've only got one object, I'm going to do it this way. So if you'll remember from yesterday's video, I wanted to create an object called location. So this is a chance to track where I'm selling my products outside of my brick and mortar store. Now, this is not best practice, but because this is my developer org, I've already got a few custom objects called location for a different app that I made. So you don't want to have multiple objects with the same name. Very confusing. So don't do that. However, I'm going to just change the name of a little bit and say sales location, because that's going to kind of differentiate this from the other location objects. So you type in your label. Plural label is sales locations. And if it started with a vowel sound, you'd select that. We're going to scroll down. These defaults are just fine usually. In the optional features section here, I like to allow reports, activities, etc. I find that helpful. These are all good to just keep selected, deployed. I like to allow search. And then my favorite here at the bottom, we're going to select Launch New Custom Tab Wizard. This just guides you straight through creating the tab and everything you need in terms of security, etc. So really easy. And then we're going to select Save here at the bottom. All right, now my favorite part, you get to select the tab style. Pops up with all these fun little icons that you can have for your new location object. So let's see. I think I'm going to use maybe highway sign, kind of leading to a location. That makes sense. All right, so I've got that. On the lower left or lower right, excuse me, you've got the next button. We'll select that. So in general, you can leave these defaults, but it's always good to read them just to make sure you understand what's going on. So if I wanted to make sure all of them were off and I only wanted to open up specific profiles to this new custom object, I'd select default off and then I'd go into another place to turn it on for some people. But for our purposes right now in our developer org, totally fine to leave it as default on. All right, so I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to select next corner here. And again, because this is the developer org, go ahead and just include the tab for everyone. In production, you might not want everyone to see everything. So you can adjust this by deselecting some of the checkboxes. All right, the lower right-hand side, I've got save. And I'm going to select save. And ta-da, I've got a new custom object. All right, great. Step 1 complete. Now, on the left-hand side here, you're going to see various things that you can do to further customize this object. I'm going to go into fields and relationships first. All right, so there are some standard fields that come with any object: the created by, last modified by, owner, and the name. These are standard. They just come with every single object. So it's a good way to track who made this object, when it was last updated, etc. So we're just going to leave those as is. Now, if you'll remember from yesterday, we created a kind of app model to show what we wanted to create. So I'm going to go back into the app model here that I created. And I've got location as a custom object. Check, we've made that. And I've got location fields and field types. So the name, we hop back into our org. Hey, it's there. Sales location name, 1 done. All right. Location type is a pick list. So I want to note if this is, as I said yesterday, an expo, something like a farmer's market, an event like a race, maybe could be that. So I'm going to go back in here and select new right here. All right. Then I've got all my options for the types of fields that we want to make. So I'm going to scroll down to pick list, kind of here in the middle, and select that. And then in the lower right-hand corner, select next. All right, so I want to type in location type. And then we're going to do individual entries here. So enter values. I'm going to say expo, race, maybe market. Probably not where you'd be, but just for filling out the pick list, we're going to put that. There are some other options here. In general, just in this situation, we're going to just leave the defaults. More detailed discussion of these other options would be for another time. All right, go down here to the lower right-hand corner, select next. All right, this again is that field security. So kind of like you saw in the custom object, who can see what? I'm just going to make it visible for everyone. If I wanted to be only a read-only field for certain people, I could select that. So let's say the free user doesn't need to see this, or it doesn't need to edit it. So I just select that. Okay. So for now, it's visible and editable by all. The upper right-hand corner, I'm going to select next. And it's adding it automatically to my page layout. Perfect. I'm going to select save and new because I've got more fields to add. So I'm going to hop back into my app model document here. I want to add the cost. So does it cost anything for me to go to this expo, this race and present my products? I want to know how much it costs. So I'm going to scroll down to currency right here. And then the bottom, select next. So I'm going to put in entry cost. Length, generally things have dollars and cents attached to them. So, but keep in mind, you can only have 18 figures in this. So I'm going to select 16 here and then decimals 2. And that'll cover dollars and cents. All right. Then we're going to select next. And again, I'm going to make it visible to everyone. Next. And save and new. All right. I'm going to go back to my model. I want a notes field. So any notes about this particular location. So I'm going to scroll down here. You'll notice there are several text options. So text is just going to be a shorter number of characters available. Text area is going to be a larger number of available characters. Text area long is going to be, as it says, very long. You can put a lot of characters in there. Text area rich is something where you can put in images and links, etc. I'm just going to put text area right now. I can't imagine I'm going to need to write an essay about this location. So text area is going to be fine. All right, I'm going to just say location notes. And we're going to hit next. And again, visible to all. Next, and save and new. We're racing right through this. This is great. Location size, pick list. So I want to know how many people in general I'm selling to. And so I'm going to do something where I have a pick list of up to 50, up to 100, 100 plus, 200 plus, something like that. This might not be helpful for you, but I think it's going to be helpful for me. So I'm going to go to pick list. Scroll down and select next. I'm going to put location size, and then we're going to enter values. I'm going to say 1 to 100, 101 to 200, 200 to 201 to 300, 301 plus. You could do anything here, but that seems like it'll fit my purposes just fine. I'm going to select next. And again, visible to all. Next, save and new. We're almost done. All right, audience. So am I selling my products to high schoolers? Am I selling them to adults? Am I selling them to marathon runners? Am I selling them to triathletes? Am I selling them to recreational runners? This could be anything, but I kind of want to know what my audience is so I can better know what products to bring. So multi-select pick lists are kind of, as the name would imply, you can select multiple things from that pick list. So I'm going to go down here to pick list, multi-select, select that. Next. And I'm going to write audience. Then enter values. I'm going to put recreational runners, racers, triathletes, students, and adults. All right. And the cool thing is, if you decide you need to change these values or you need to add some, you can always go back and do that later. So you're not locked into this forever. If you decide that some of these are not great ideas, you can go back and fix it. All right, next. I'm gonna make it visible. Next. And is that all I need? Yes. All right, so we can just hit save. We are done. Fantastic. Look, I have all my fields that I created. Cool. So I'm going to go to here to the left and select page layouts. All right, I've got one layout. Perfect. I'm going to select that. This is going to be a palette where you can drag and drop various fields and things you need on this page. We're just going to do the pretty simple version right now. There, as you can see from the top, there are a lot of things you can add. I'm just going to focus on this part right now. As I said, for another, some of these things are for another time, another video. So here in information, I've got the sales location name. That makes sense to have it first. Great. I am going to move location notes right here. And I'm going to put location size next. I'm going to put entry cost over here. And I'm going to put audience over here. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. That seems clear, concise, and that's what we want to make page layouts. Clear and concise, easy to use. All right. Two options here. Quick save is going to leave this palette open in case you need to go back and change something else. Save is going to save it and head back to the page layout page. Since I'm done, I'm just going to do that. All right, got that set. Great, so my custom object and the page layout and the fields are looking fantastic. So I'm going to go in here to App Launcher. And I'm going to click View All. And I'm going to go to my Run 365 store. All right, and look at there. Here it is, sales locations already. It's perfect. All right, so I'm just going to show you briefly how you can edit a page in a Lightning app. So let's just look at this home page for now. This is kind of bland and not super helpful to me right now. So I'm going to go up here to the gear icon. I'm going to select it, and this is where you usually go to setup. However, today we're going to go down here to edit page. And this opens up a builder where you can adjust that page however you want. So on the left, we've got some standard components that you can add in. We can add key deals, we can add recent items, recent records, report charts, all great things. Custom components are going to be things that are custom developed. We're not going into that today, so that's you can find another video on that. Okay, so I might want quarterly performance. That kind of makes sense. Yeah, see how I'm doing. Today's events, I don't want that for now. That's not going to help me. So in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little trash can. I'm going to select that to remove it. All right. I want to add in chatter so my employees can talk to each other via chatter. This is kind of the instant messaging of Salesforce. So I'm going to pull that over here. We've got chatter feed. That should come up soon. There we go. And I want chatter publisher so people can write chatter items, tag people, what have you. Okay, I think that looks good. So let's see, recent records, today's tasks. I like that. Let's say we want to add in assistant. We'll put assistant here. So this is going to kind of remind you of things you need to do. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Up here on the right, I'm going to push save. And I'm going to select activate. I want people to see this right away. So this is going to be my app default. There are other options here, but today we're just going to look at this. So the Run 365 app, I want this to be the home page. So I'm going to click Assign to Apps. And I'm going to select the checkbox next to Run 365. I'm going to select Next, kind of review how that's assigned. Perfect. Hit Save. And up here you can see a little check and it says activation successful. Now I'm going to hit this back arrow right here in the upper left. And when I go back to my home page, there we go. I've got the new chatter components. I've got the assistant components. All right, so that's looking more helpful for me. Great. And you can do this for every page in your app. All right, that is all for today's video. Tomorrow we are going to cover creating products, price books, and quotes and integrating those into our app. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.